Most traders never make money in the markets. Actually, 99% of people actually fail whenever they start out day trading. But last month, I challenged myself with a $10,000 account, and I was able to make close to $20,000 in less than 30 days. And I'm not here to brag. I'm actually here to show you exactly how I did it. The trades, the discipline, the routine, pretty much everything. I'm gonna walk you guys through everything that I did, exactly how I did it, with all the proof to show you guys that it is possible to trade stock options profitably. Most people don't understand that this skill is something that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. So it's not like you're just going to make some quick profits and then run away with them. Although you could, you're always going to be able to come back to the market and make more money. It's like learning how to ride a bike. If you're new here, my name is Decrypt. I've been trading since I was 17. I didn't have my first profitable year until I was 19. I made $30,000 in the first 6 months of 2022, and then I made $70,000 in the last 6 months of 2022. 2023 was kind of like a replica year. I made just a little bit more, $130,000, and then 2024 was the biggest year of my life. And then so far this year, just short of $300,000 on the year in profit. But overall, over $1 million in profit at the age of 22. Trading stock options. I've made every mistake you can make as a day trader, over leveraging, taking way too many trades, trading on the wrong days, trading low volume. But over the years, I've been studying exactly what it takes to become a profitable trader. What separates those who make profits and those who are consistently losing every single day. And I'm making this video, kind of went throughout the entire month with a $10,000 account just to show you guys what is possible. That you don't need a bunch of money to make money. So before we even get started, let me show you all the receipts of everything so that way you guys can sit here and know that you're not just listening to some bullshit. Like, I'm genuinely gonna teach you how to become a profitable trader by the end of this video. And guys, I'm sharing this journey so that way you guys can see what's actually possible with discipline and a strict plan in force. And if you didn't know, November 1st, I will be starting the challenge again. I'm gonna do it exactly how I did it last time. Everything will be live traded. Everything will be documented, this time with everybody else that's new. So if you want to be a part of it, all you have to do is join the free Discord. It's going to be live traded. Links are all below. And of course, that's only just a fraction of it, but you will be inside of a group with almost 30,000 people in it, day trading every single day, giving ideas, learning, growing, and just overall the community itself is amazing. I always tell people that if you want to learn a new language, I would correlate stocks to, like a new language. It's a bunch of terms that you've never heard of, but the more you're around the community, the faster you're gonna learn it. It's all the benefits. I'm not even trying to sell you, it's free. Also have an options playbook that's gonna take you from 0 to 100. You can find that below as well. It's completely free. Everything is free. I'm not here to sell you anything. Anyways, that is my full breakdown on how I made close to $20,000 in 30 days with a $10,000 account. All right, now it's time to show you the receipts in full transparency. So here we have my TradeZella. No, this is not fake. This is not Inspect Element. This is the month of September. Here you can see all my trades. Obviously, I don't win every single day or every single trade. Almost $16,000 on the month. 39 total trades. Trade expectancy 405, 41 cents, 2.39 profit factor. I had a 64% win rate and an average win-loss trade of 1.34. All right, here's my win percentage. Zella score gives me a 79.2. I don't know what that is compared to everybody else. I'm sure some have higher, lower, whatever, etc. Here you can see the graph. So I made a bunch of money in the first week. All right, second day of September. And then it kind of just consolidated sideways. But that's, that just has to do with the market itself, because I don't control what the market does. The market's going to give you what it wants to give you. Tuesday, if I remember correctly, was just an insane day for the market. It was actually a swing trade overnight. So that's why it doesn't show any trades on Monday. But I traded puts and it made me a bunch of money, right? And then I ended up losing almost $2,000 the next day, and then followed up by a couple wins, right? So just using consistency and proper risk to reward, I was able to make some money. And then there was a day on the 25th where I did lose a good amount, which was pretty sad, but I ended up making it back plus more on the next day. So it worked out, right? It was fine. But this is my TradeZella. Super simple. This is just to show you guys that I actually do day trade and I'm not just like, pulling this stuff out of my booty, So my trading strategy is actually very, very simple. I'm very basically trading highs and lows, right? Or just volume in general. So knowing when to trade is very, very important. It's always just going to be news days. I use Forex Factory and pull up the news for the week. Okay, this is going to show you every single week. If you want to set it up like mine, go up here in the top right, red folders only, all event types, and USD because we only trade the New York Stock Exchange, right? So you would expect volume on these days. That's not to say that there won't be volume on these other days, right? There could be volume, but when you want to know guaranteed when there will be volume, you just check here. Okay, so for those that have jobs, for those that don't know or can't be there every single day, you can use this to know when you can trade confidently with volume. So at 8:45, 15 minutes after market open on Friday, there's going to be volume. So that's going to be your trade there, right? Anyways, back to the market. We want to trade volume. And how do we know when there's volume, or how do I even know when to get into the trade? Okay, this is very, very simple. So let's show you Friday. Here we're at all-time highs. We have sellers here, right? There's a bunch of sellers in this area. This is all-time highs. This is where sellers step in at. And it's very easy to see after the fact, but I do have live trading videos and trade recaps that show you exactly how I caught these moves. I'm not just showing you these because I think they look good, right? But I'm going to show you exactly what we're looking for. The first thing we want to look for is, one, we want to see levels being broken. Levels are simply highs and lows, just like this level here. Sellers stepped in here. This is all-time highs. This is where sellers stepped in. Okay, so levels being broken, and I'll explain to you guys why I trade to the downside. Two, we want to see fair value gaps. Fair value gaps are very simply displacements in the market. I have videos in the boot camps for you to go watch. So go to the playlist of my channel, go through the boot camp. You're going to be able to understand all of this very easily. Okay, so we need a fair value gap. Three, we set our targets. We set our targets for entry and exit. So very simple. These are the 4 steps. I would write this down on a sticky note if I were you, so you don't forget it. So I'm gonna go through every single one of these levels first. So this morning, a Friday morning, everyone was asking me, yo, we're moving to the upside. Why aren't we trading this fair value gap here? We're breaking levels down here on smaller time frames, but why don't we trade to the upside? Why didn't you trade this fair value gap to the upside? And it's very, very simple. Because in order for me to break or get into this trade, I have to see levels being broken. If I move into a larger time frame, right? These levels are going to be a lot stronger on larger time frames than they will be on smaller time frames, right? So instead of respecting these levels, I want to respect these levels up here because they're stronger, right? You have one high there, and then a high here. Then obviously we ultimately ended up selling off. I probably would have taken this trade to the upside. No, I definitely would have if we broke this level here where sellers stepped in at. If we are still below that level, that means sellers are still in control. So I wouldn't even take this trade. What I ended up doing was taking the inverse fair value gap, right? Because we know sellers are here. Buyers weren't strong enough to get above. So I ended up simply playing the inverse like so. Boom. We rejected highs. We see some volume here, and I played this. This was here for a scalp. And this is when Trump tweeted, about the trade wars, which made it dump. I did not know he was going to tweet. I wasn't even in the trade whenever he tweeted that. But I'm going to show you how I caught it afterwards, trading volume, right? And I simply targeted the gap below. This is overnight liquidity. Boom. Now, this is just the inverse. This is a more experienced trade, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how you could have caught the downside as well. So obviously, most of the traders were looking at the market and we're like, oh my geez, right? Well, we know we rejected highs. We know we're not, overall, yes, we're in an uptrend, but in the day trade stance, we're breaking lows. We're still breaking lows. We're still breaking levels, right? We have a fair value gap presented. We have a fair value gap up here. Boom. Like so. So here is where I want to start looking to enter my trade. And notice how it doesn't touch the fair value gap. I'll show you guys and give you guys an explanation to that soon. All you have to do from here on out is target previous lows, right? Any one of these lows where buyer stepped in at. That's where you would likely want to get out of your trade. For me, because I didn't know how volatile this market was going to be, I just saw a bunch of volume. I simply targeted the low it created for this day. And not for this right here, I was able to make a few $1,000s. So I was content. Obviously, a lot of people made a ton more, but I don't like to hold or bag hold my positions. I simply just get in, get out, and I am done for the day. I don't care if it goes 1,000,000,000% or whatever, okay? So we had levels being broken to the downside on the 3-minute fair value gap, check. 1, done. 2, we had a fair value gap, check. Boom. Now we set our targets. Where's our targets going to be? I chose low a day and then some previous lows from back here, right? Because if you're going into a downtrend, you just want to target previous lows where buyers stepped in at. Now we need our entry and our exit. So a lot of people ask me, yo, when do I know to start getting in? Well, if you look on the 3-minute, you would have never seen a break of structure, right? You just have all these candles consolidating sideways, but you don't know exactly where to get in. So what I do is, since we have everything marked on the 3-minute, I can go into smaller time frames and give myself a better entry. So now if I see this level right here getting broken, because this is also a high, every candle has a high and low. If I see this candle right here getting broken, or we start getting above that, this is where I want to start adding to my position. I didn't even get to add full position here because we never retested the fair value gap fully. My full position is going to be $10,000, right? So initially I'm going to add 2,500, and then I would add 5,000 on the next one, and another 2,500 up here, right? Now I'm in full risk. Yes, I will see some drawdown, but that's part of it, right? Understanding the risk, we know exactly which way the market's going. The only way to lose here is if the market starts ranging sideways, okay? Started adding, I think I was in with $3,500 total, and the market ended up going my way. A lot of people would be upset and be like, I wish I should have added more, right? But this is the part of consistency that you need to understand. You cannot just go in full position every single time you take a trade, because what if the time that you go in full position, it just completely reverses on you and you get stopped out and you lose all your money. This is what we're trying to avoid. If I stayed consistent and was able to follow my rules by adding to my position until I hit max risk, then no, it's like I won't be losing a ton of money. But in this case, I followed my rules, and yes, I was in with less than I was supposed to be in with, but I still made money. Less is more. Always, always, always. It's always going to be more. This is the part about consistency. And if it kept going my way, then I'd be max risk up here. I'd obviously add more to my position, and then my stop out would be, in my opinion, inside this fair value gap here, because this is a lot of volume, too large of a risk to reward. And you could just go to the first candle high inside the fair value gap there, okay? And then boom, that's the trade. It's really nothing more to that. All I look for is levels being broken with a fair value gap. Depending on which side you're breaking out to, if you're trading the upside, you target previous highs. If you're breaking the downside, you're targeting previous lows, right? And then you have your entries and your exit. That's you executing. Anyways, that is the strategy itself. And if we go back to the calendar, you can see here that not every single day was a green day, right? I obviously had some red days. And then on the trades where I did lose more than I was anticipating, obviously I know that there's going to be more opportunity. So if the market was ranging and I got stopped out, okay, that's not my fault, but I can control my risk. I can control what trades I take. So if I stayed consistent throughout, I know that my win rate and my profit factor is going to keep me up, and I will continue making money overall, right? So I can take some losses, yes, but if I stay consistent, then I'll continuously make more money, right? So it's not always about, oh, I need to be green every single day. Yes, that can happen, right? But you will take some losses, and it's all about not beating yourself up whenever you get to that point. Like the video if you learned something. Drop a comment if you join the Discord, say I'm in, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Because the next one might just be even crazier than this last one. It's been Decrypt. Stay disciplined. I am out of here. Lock the fuck in.